Hi, I'm Ray with Arizonacontrols, and this is our Viper 3D printer. This is part 3 of our series on how to print a two-color TIE fighter, like this one. Today we are printing one of the easiest of the parts, which is the center piece for the model, which looks like this. This part is easy because it's a single color print, and it does not require G-code edits. I do recommend checking the G-code, since the better you understand it, the better you will become at fixing problems with your prints instead of relying completely on your slicer software. You will need to print this model twice. It goes together like that. Whether you print them one at a time or you print them both at the same time is completely up to you. First, let's take a look at an exploded view of our model.
And here's our exploded view of the model. These are the two center pieces. These have been modified since the first two videos to make it easier to put the model together, because when I originally designed it, it was designed to screw together. It's much easier to center everything if you just have these posts, and you can just snap all the pieces on and just glue them with some epoxy. And then it only takes a few minutes to put it together. And the other thing that I added is this stand, which we'll print later on in two colors using only one STL file. And so let's take a look at the completed model. And here we are at our completed model. Here are the two center pieces, and of course our new stand. And let's move on to SuperFly 3D and get this print set up. And here we are in SuperFly 3D. The first thing we're going to do is import our STL file, which is called center. And we're going to scale it to 1250 and rotate it 270. Center and arrange. There it is. Let's take a preview of it and see what we've got. So we'll just use the slider here, and it's being printed as a solid. We do have support generated, but we're going to want to use infill so we don't waste a bunch of plastic. And include solid diaphragm every 1 layers is how I print my solid pieces, so it's just easier to unclick one box. And print it on medium, which looks better on curved surfaces. And let's take another look at it. And there we go. Looking good. Now if you wanted to print this, print both of them at the same time, you can. You just do duplicate models, copy one, center and arrange, and now you have two of the same model. In order to save time, and sometimes you'll get threading between the models, we're just going to print one. So we'll remove the second one. Prepare to print, process one, here we go. And save our G-code. That's all there is to it. Now we are going to check our G-code to make sure everything's right. And here we are in Windows Explorer. We're going to navigate to our G-code file just to check it. Here it is. We're going to left click once, right click, open with, notepad. And here's our G-code. And I like to check the G-code because sometimes SuperFly 3D will revert to older settings. I don't know why I didn't write it. I didn't write the software, so but I like to check it. For instance, if we look right here, this is the beginning of our G-code, and it has turned the heated bed on, which I had set to 0. So the easy way to fix it is just to shut it off here. Set point to 0. Wait command to 0. Now the heated bed will not turn on. We don't need it for this part because it's a very small part. This is a filament retraction. We don't need it. On the Viper 3D printer, we leave our extruders in a retracted state of -10. So all I want to do is advance 10. That's going to bring the filament right to the end of the nozzle when we begin printing, hopefully. And then we'll print the skirt to prime the extruder and everything, and then we will print. Now, these are the only changes you need to make here. You probably won't need to make these changes with your printer. This is primarily for the users of the Viper. But you should get familiar with your G-code so that you get good at understanding it. As you can see at the end here, we don't have a filament retraction, and I like to leave my extruder at -10, as I've said, or 10 millimeter retraction. So first thing we're going to do is copy this G92E0, which resets the origin of the extruder to 0. So we're going to copy this, and we're going to put it at the end of this code. And that changes this E0.2527. As this starts extruding, always starts from 0 and extrudes, and that's what's left in memory. So when we paste that here, that's going to reset the extruder to 0. Now, there are two ways that you could add this if you want to. You can just type it in directly, which is easy, or you could just scroll up and find a retraction command, copy it, bring it down here, and edit it. I'm just going to type it in for now. That's G1 E -10.0000, which is their format, and at a feed rate of 1,000 millimeters per minute. That's it. Done. Onward and upward. Save the file. One thing we do before we go to print is just check it one more time by double-clicking on the file and make sure everything still looks good in Simplify 3D, because sometimes you'll see some really weird stuff. The print's going to take 34 minutes. Everything still looks honky-dory, so let's print. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is insert our SD card, and then we're going to adjust the nozzle height since we're doing a medium print. May be necessary. The software usually adjusts okay, but we're going to go ahead and just take this down a smidge to 0.95. So I'll show you how to do it, and saved memory. And now we're going to print from SD and choose our G-code, and off we go to the races. And here we go. We print the skirt primarily to prime the extruder, and sometimes you get a little string like that. I use hemostats. I can just grab it, while it's finishing the outer perimeter that it's doing now, but sometimes it's not a big deal. You can see it got stuck to the nozzle, but it'll actually take care of it on its own, so it's not necessary to just stop the print if something like that happens. It's easy to clean up, and it doesn't really affect the part in a negative way. And we're putting down the first layer, and I'm going to time lapse this this print, and we'll take a look at it when it gets about to the middle of the part. And we're a little more than halfway done with the print. Everything's going well. Looks pretty smooth. We'll go ahead and time lapse to the end and wrap this up. And we're just coming to the end here. And it looks like we have a successful print. Everything looks good. Right on.
And there you have it, the centerpiece for the TIE Fighter model. If you didn't print two at the same time, be sure to print another one. Our next video will focus on the most difficult of the parts to print, the front piece of the TIE Fighter. If you like this video and want to see more like it, please subscribe below and toss us a like. We always welcome your comments. Please feel free to visit us at www.arizonacontrols.com, where the STL files and GCode files are available for download. Have a great day, and thank you for watching.